What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, I want to talk about everything that is Mayweather Maidana 2, September 13th. Now, in this video, just a quick disclaimer, because sometimes you guys are visual learners and you see something, and you're going to see this graphic that I made with Lucas, Matthysse, Broner, and even Floyd and Maidana. Don't be like, oh, Ego told me Broner was going to be fighting Matthysse. Like, no, I didn't tell you shit. None of these fights are set in stone. These are talked about, somewhat likely, but they are not set in stone. So, like, don't try to throw dirt on my name if they don't come about, or Mayweather changes his mind and picks a fucking rabbit out the hat opponent. This is all speculation based on some things I've been hearing and whatnot. So I want to talk about first Mayweather Maidana. I made this meme also for the whole glove gate. Everybody was all into the glove controversy the night before the fight. Al Heyman was like, the fight's not going on, and Robert Garcia was like, what? It was crazy. So I want to touch on that in this. That's why I made this meme. I don't know. Really, a lot of times the A side dictates to the B side, and we've seen it several times. Cotto didn't want Sergio Martinez to wear a shoulder or whatever knee brace. He had the Patrick Ewing knees. He didn't want him to wear the knee brace. He wanted to come out last or first or whatever. He wanted this side of the ring. He wanted his name first. A lot of times the A side dictates. Now, some of you guys have this seething hatred for Mayweather, so it blinds you, and you don't see that a lot of A side people do stuff to dictate. Oscar De La Hoya got to dictate ring size and everything in the Floyd Mayweather fight. Cotto dictated a lot with Sergio Martinez, and it kind of comes with the territory. It is what it is. But since Mayweather is at the pinnacle, kind of at the top of the sport, there's a lot of focus on it. Me personally, let Maidana wear whatever legal gloves that he wants to wear, whether they're the Everlast MXs or if he wants to rewear the Power Lock gloves. I mean, I just want to see a good fight. And to me, I don't see Maidana beating Floyd this go around, and I don't think he won the last fight either. I think it was a good fight, competitive fight. He did better than expected, but better than expected is not winning, in my opinion. So a lot of people, if they see Mayweather and he doesn't look as flawless as he did against Diego Corrales or Arturo Gatti, it's a loss in their mind because somebody troubled him. But you got to realize Mayweather's a human. He's a person. Because he has problems or a bloody nose in the Cotto fight doesn't mean he lost. But again, when you're under the microscope and you have a lot of extreme fans both ways, Flomos and people that hate him, it's going to be every move, every decision you make is going to be scrutinized once over and kind of reanalyzed and reposted, and like they're gonna break it down and dissect it. So honestly, some things Mayweather does may be above and beyond, you know what I mean, because he is at that top of the totem pole. But a lot of the stuff he does is kind of in line with what other people are doing. Like I just said in this video, Cotto using the knee brace excuse and saying, hey, I don't want Sergio to wear that. Like, the fuck? How's that? You know what I mean? You don't make those decisions. And as you've seen, Sergio was able to wear it after he petitioned it. So, as far as the Everlast gloves, I personally, this is just my personal opinion, let the motherfucker wear the MXs or the Power Locks or whatever he wants to wear, because really that's his only chance to win, to land something big and be in his comfort zone or whatever and hit Mayweather with something. That's, to me, how he's going to win. So, I mean, to make it a competitive fight or more competitive, because I told you in the first video when I first announced it, and I was one of the first people on YouTube announcing this Mayweather Maidana Part 2. I told you guys, Mayweather, he already basically said he's not going to use Tony Weeks in the rematch. So it's going to be more Ricky Hatton-esque in terms of it's not going to be that sustained action. It's going to be broken up and you know what I'm saying? It's going to be more of a boxing match, in my opinion. That's how I honestly see it going. And I think the ref is going to aid in that. So, you know what I mean? Give Marcos Maidana whatever he wants. He made it this far. He made it a dog fight or a competitive fight, let the motherfucker wear the regular gloves as long as they're not tampered with or like, you know what I mean, no padding or no bullshit like that. Let him wear the regular, non-custom Everlast MX gloves. Cotto wore them. Nonito Donaire wears them. I seen Klitschko, I think, wore them. So that's my personal opinion on it. Next, Adrien Broner versus Lucas Matthysse. If this fight does go down, first of all, I know I talk shit about Broner, and it's really because his attitude towards the sport. I feel in recent memory, like as he got bigger, like after the Eloy Perez and Vicente Escobedo type fights, his ego, no pun intended, started to get so big to the point where the focus shifted from boxing to extracurricular shit. Dancing before fights and talking shit. Marcos Maidana speaks Spanish. Blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to heat him up like a hot pocket. A-B. Like, focus on boxing. Prove what you say you're going to do. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. I could care less what people do in their personal lives until it starts to affect their in fight life. You know what I'm saying? So if Zab Judah or whatever is partying all the time, that's his business. But when it starts to affect him, and then you know what I mean, you pretty much quitting the Amir Khan fight, things like that, that's when I have a problem with it, because you're supposed to be a professional, you're supposed to be taking your career seriously. So if you're partying and it's you're seeing the adverse effects of that in the fight, then that's a problem, because you're not being a professional. You know what I mean? It's like Tom Brady going out getting smashed and then having a game on Sunday, and he gets smashed on Saturday and he can't perform and he's hella hungover. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good look. And that's kind of what Broner does to me. He leaves that sour taste in people's mouth because he talks all this shit and sometimes doesn't even look spectacular in recent memory. But Lucas Matthysse, I would give him tons of credit for even taking that fight. That's a very dangerous fight. Lucas Matthysse showed he had dog in him, that he was in against a bigger man, against John Molina, and he came back. He was the first one to get knocked down. He was off of a loss. So that shows me he has a willingness to win, because after a loss, some guys, if they're getting, you know what I mean, beat up in the first half of the fight and getting knocked down and stuff, they'll mentally check out and they'll mentally quit. Like, oh fuck, I just took a loss. You know what I mean? Because Lucas Matthysse, you have to take it in consideration. When he lost to Devin Alexander and to Zab Judah, those were controversial. Those weren't just standard losses. A lot of people thought he won those fights. So he could hold his head high. You could be like, oh, yeah, he has losses, but those were losses that were both very, very controversial. And many of the fans sided with Lucas Matthysse, including myself. I think the Zab Judah fight was very close. He got a slow start, so I would have probably gave it to Zab. I got to watch it again. Devin Alexander, he definitely beat. And because he fought in St. Louis, Devin Alexander's hometown, Devin got the nod. But those were losses, to make a long story short, those were losses that you could hold your head high because they were controversial, and most people, or a lot of people, thought you won those fights. The Danny Garcia loss to Lucas Matthysse was just a loss, you know what I'm saying? So he could have fought a different fight, and he could have came back a lot weaker, losing confidence, especially when John Molina started to pile it on him early. So it'll be a good fight, Adrien Broner versus Lucas Matthysse. And I told you in my last video, it has that common theme. You got two black American boxing heavyweights, not heavyweights in the division, but superstars, guys with names, Floyd Mayweather and Adrien Broner, against two Argentines. So, and those Argentines are tough as a motherfucker and can crack. So it has the makings to be a good pay-per-view card if it does in fact happen September 13th. Let me know what you guys think of the glove issue. Do you think Maidana will get to wear the gloves of choice? Do you think he'll look the same without Alex Ariza in his camp? There's a lot of different variables, so I don't see it looking as good for Marcos Maidana, but that's just my personal opinion. Hopefully he gets to wear his gloves. Let me know what you think of Adrien Broner versus Lucas Matthysse. And then my last video where I talked about Broner Matthysse, a lot of you guys said Broner gets destroyed, and my money's definitely on Lucas Matthysse if this fight is in fact going to happen. Broner just, he doesn't let his hands go enough, and he tries to bang and stay in pocket, and that's dangerous against a guy who has the body punching, the amount of pop, and the overall boxer puncher skills of a Lucas Matthysse. So let me know what you guys think of September 13th. Will it hit over a mil? Do you want to see this card if in fact this is the card that we see? Leave a comment. Make sure you like the video. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.